You know what makes my dick tingle? Nostalgia. Nothing gets me quite as giddy as seeing something I love from my past. And as a kid, there wasn't much I loved more than cartoons. If you didn't want to deal with my ass, you could stick me in front of a TV, put on Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, or even PBS Kids, and that keep my attention for fucking hours. But there was always one cartoon that stood out in my mind. SpongeBob SquarePants was one of the biggest staples of my childhood. I had books, bags, lunchboxes, sticker packs. I was fucking obsessed with that sponge, and there were no other cartoons that made me as happy. Except maybe Adventure Time, but this video is about SpongeBob's first cinematic outing, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie was made by the SpongeBob creator, Stephen Hillenburg, and was intended to be the end of the series because he believed the series had reached its peak, but Nickelodeon didn't allow that to happen. Hillenburg left shortly afterwards, and season 4 was called, allowing the show to continue and becoming one of the most successful shows ever. In the box office, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie made $140 million with a budget of $30 million, meaning it was immensely successful. But let me quit stalling and get to the actual review. The movie starts off with the Nickelodeon movies jingle, and hearing this just makes me happy. Even when I heard this as a kid, I knew it wasn't for a good time. At the beginning, we see a bunch of bum-ass grown-ass pirates decide to watch a damn kids movie, making a mess in the theater. These have to be patchy snickers. Anyway, we get to the film and Krusty Krab's a whole ass crime scene. Like the cops find out what's actually in Krabby Patties, but no, it's because the nigga didn't get cheese on his burger. Motherfucker, the entire league bikini bottoms out here acting like it's an active bomb threat. Like,
we gon' come and blow New Jersey up, bang, bang.
Bottom up. Then a big man SpongeBob holds up and disarms the situation. You know how it is, but it turns out this shit was a dream. So SpongeBob gets ready to work at his minimum wage job. You know, the usual. He's hyped because he's gonna be the manager of the Krusty Krab too. A second Krusty Krab made so Mr. Krabs can make more money. But the standout part of the scene is that he says he has 374 consecutive Employee of the Month awards. 374. He spent 31 years working minimum wage in customer service to a man that's so cheap he's probably never gonna have a promotion. Man, SpongeBob is a trooper. Anyway, he gets on with his morning, harassing Squidward and all that, and making plans with Patrick to blow his bonus after the promotion. At the ceremony, SpongeBob makes a fool of himself and doesn't comprehend how he doesn't get the job because he's a kid. As I said earlier, this nigga worked here for 31 years and he still ain't get shit. God damn. Then Plankton shows up to run fucking God's crown. A nigga almost got institutionalized for doing his job as a royal crown polisher and fucking touching it. But Mandy saved him, so it's all good. Then this nigga Neptune has the audacity to say his shit not bald.
And what does this crown do?
Covers your bald spot.
It's not bald, it's thinning.
Shut the fuck up, nigga.
Then Plankton runs his crown. Then we see SpongeBob having a mental breakdown at Goofy Goober's and decides to drink all of his problems away with Patrick, the greatest influence. The next morning, Neptune and Mindy roll up on the Krusty Krab because Plankton set up Mr. Krabs by saying he took the crown. Since Neptune's tweaking, he was ready to off Krabs right there, and damn near does so. But then SpongeBob rolls up and saves his ass because he offered to get the crown back for the king to cover his chrome dome. King Neptune gives him 10 days, but Patrick started testing Neptune, so they got set. Mandy gives him the briefing and basically says they're demons and cyclops and shit on the way to sell shitty, so it's hella dangerous, not much different than Detroit. So they pull off in the whip. Later, since Krusty Krab is undaunted and nobody locked the fucking front door, Plankton strolls in and takes the formula. On the way there, they stop for gas, and these hillbillies man at the station tell them that they would be hoed the second they cross the county line. And what do you know? The whole whip got taken. Really can't have shit in Detroit, huh? Then we see Plankton already had a whole Krabby Patty operation underway in like 3 hours. He's giving away bucket hats with every free purchase, and that caused the entire time to switch up on Mr. Krabs. Like, This nigga might die. Like this. Then Karen has to tell him that SpongeBob and Patrick are advancing on the Crown's location, and that might cause an issue with the plan, but Plankton already had a hit on them. Then we see this edgy nigga Dennis roll up like a menace and rips the lips off these niggas' faces. SpongeBob and Patrick spot their car and the nigga who stole it in the thug tug with the key, and they thought they were just gonna distract him and rob him back, but the plan falls through and they start blowing bubbles in the bathroom. One of the big niggas spots this and says they ain't with that pussy bubble blowing shit, and they got a rule for this. That is, all bubble blowing babies will be beaten senseless by every patron in the bar, and they know how to weed them out. They proceed to play the Goofy Goober theme song or whatever, to try and weed out the bubble babies, and SpongeBob and Patrick nearly fold, but this weird conjoined twin thing, Fish, took the fall for them, and he proceeded to get jumped by everybody in the bar, and they were able to sneak out with the key. Squidward finds out about the private party situation and confronts Plankton bold as shit, saying he's about to snitch Neptune in the enemy territory. And then Plankton's like, we gotta see about that, and then proceeds to sick his brainwashed goons on him. After this, SpongeBob and Patrick get catfished by this old bitch and almost get eaten, but she ends up getting her ankles broken into a ditch. Then we see Dennis catching up with them, and he proceeds to punch this nigga into a singularity for talking shit. These boys were about to pussy out the entire mission, but Mindy pulls up and lets them know what's up, and lets them know that Plankton started a dictatorship in like 2 days, and then she turns them into men. And they proceed to drop the world's greatest shack. We're men, we can't do anything, now that we're men. We are invincible, now that we're men. We are trying to Star City, get the crown, stay for the day out, and Mr. Krabs. Anyway, Dennis pulls up, disrespects him as he rips their mustaches off, and basically said Plankton stole the crown. As he was about to step on them, a diver pulls up and kidnaps him. While stepping on Dennis, this movie got a weird ass obsession with stepping on niggas. As they wake up, they realize they were transported to a souvenir shop and placed under a heat lamp. As they were about to become a memory in the most emotional scene I've ever witnessed. This shit had me crying, bro. As their lights started fading, they realized that they made it to Shell City with the crown barely in the distance. As they realized this, they were able to die happy as they reached their destination. But their terror breathed out hard and it caused a fire, causing a sprinkler to revive them, which is a pretty big oversight considering this nigga lives on a beach. They got the crown, but the diver comes back and is about to off them. But every nick that can shrink it is revived, ravaging his dumb ass. While they're about to go back, Patrick fucks up the return with the brat bag or whatever Mandy gave them to return with, so they have to hitch a ride with Hasselhoff, allowing Dennis to pull back up on them. While this is on their ass, Neptune's ready to fry crabs right then, but Mandy is there ready to stall for them. Back on Hasselhoff, Dennis gets picked by this weird boat. I don't know what the fuck this is. When Krabs is about to get fried, SpongeBob and Patrick get blasted into the ocean at light speeds by Hasselhoff's massive tits. They were able to reflect the ray beam fired at Krabs, and all is right in the world, except this asshole Plankton was able to brainwash Neptune. As Plankton is about to off the crew, SpongeBob gives the most inspirational speech ever by saying while he's a kid, he was able to do the things thought impossible of a kid. And he was able to save all of the Bikini Bottom with the sickest guitar solo ever heard to man. Plankton shows himself as the real king and gets incarcerated as he should. And everyone rejoices as SpongeBob saves them and gets a mandatory position. And we end with the most iconic anything ever, Ocean Man. As I said earlier, this is meant to be the ending of the series because Hillenburg the GOAT thought it had reached its peak, and it feels like it would have been a great ending to this series, but I'm lucky SpongeBob didn't get an end after this. It was ad for Nickelodeon's greed, I guess, because I was born in 2006, 2 years after this movie came out, meaning that if it didn't continue, I would have most likely not grown up with SpongeBob. And without SpongeBob, I most likely would have been a fundamentally different person as a result. So thank you, Mr. Hunenberg and the SpongeBob staff for all our memories. If you enjoyed this video, I appreciate if you try subscribing, because I know you enjoyed this fucking video. This channel is really fresh, and I had to learn After Effects and a bit about Audacity to actually make this fucking video, and that took a hell of a long time. I'm just recording the voiceover right now. I think it's gonna take me like fucking like a long ass time to actually edit the vid, but there will be more videos coming soon. Next video, we're gonna be reviewing actual cartoon series instead of just a movie, I believe. Yeah. So be ready to come next time, because this is the last you've heard of the goddamn trash pirate.